Here is the continuation of a sweater that I've already started. It was, at one time, I had finished this, I don't remember the name of the stitch. This was a crochet of 5 attached in the middle of the shell below it. I finished the whole shawl, but then really realized I didn't like the way it felt or hung or any of that. So then I started doing this. It was just a double crochet in a short row, and I realized it kind of looked like the ribbing on a sweater. So what I did then was I started, because after I finished this shawl, I had 2 more balls of the yarn. So I thought, oh, let me try and make something else with that. So I started with this just simple double crochet, and as I was working it, I realized it looked like the ribbing on a sweater. So then I was like, let me just go ahead and do something really simple, work it up, and see if I can't make my very first sweater. So that's what I started doing, and as you can see, I part way through got better ideas, then also needed some ribbing in the front. So I just kind of picked up after the first 2 rows of double crochet and started with the ribbing up the front. This one is a true experiment, and realized the 2 balls was not going to be enough, and since I didn't really care for the way that this turned out, I thought I will just take it apart, use it to finish making the sweater. So far so good. Let me just see if I can spin it around here for you. There's the back of the sweater. Like I said, I'm not following any kind of pattern. It's all in my head. I'm just kind of working it as I go along. So I know if you have suggestions, you can throw them in the comments below. Like I said, this was just kind of a work in progress, a little experiment on my side of things. So that is where we are at. Really loving it, trying to make it as symmetrical as I can. So I am been working with this. I am working on taking the top up now to leave it at the shoulder, come back, do this side same way, then I am going to go to the back, work that up to the shoulders, join them, and then I'm going to start in on the sleeves. Hopefully I have enough shawl left here to make that happen. So far it looks like I will have. So just a super easy stitch. Like I said, this was just double crochets going into the row behind it, and then these are just 3 double crochets in one spot, working that all the way up. Did a single row of double crochets here to make a ribbing in the front. Looks like it's coming off nicely for me. So we're going to continue on with that, get this sweater done, but I was having so much fun with this stitch that I started it in 2 different colors besides the one that you're seeing here, and I'll play with that for a little bit and show you that as well. And as you can see, I'm kind of coming in a little bit, heading up to the collar. There is my sleeve, or my opening for my sleeve on this side here. So again, we're just going to continue on with that, and then what I'm going to do is show you a little bit and just have you enjoy watching some crochet with some quiet time and counting and whispers, and I hope you enjoy. All right, my friends, and probably the easiest place to show you right now is on the floor. Okay. And I have 2 different ones started. I started working with some just random yarn that I had, and of course I only had so much of these, so I'm just kind of taking anything that I have down in my stash in a purple format and just going to kind of put this together here. This one I started doing a little bit differently and started doing them in panels to see if that might be easier. So I've started with the back panel again. I just started with the ribbing and then started with the double crochet in clusters of 3 going all the way up. So I'm just trying to use up some of the yarn that I have on hand so that I can make space. Since my daughter moved back home, we have been so cramped, so all of my workspaces, my sewing spaces, it's all been kind of condensed into one. I'm sharing an office now with my sweetie, and it's a little crowded. So I am literally, since I now have so much time off during the week, because I get my hours in the first 3 days of the week, and so then the rest of the week is mine to start being creative again and getting things done and getting things out for you guys to hopefully enjoy. So that is where we are at right now. I believe we are at a point where I can start taking this in to go towards the sleeves and take it up to the neck. But I just thought I'd take you along with me on a few stitches and see if we couldn't get some crochet tingles going on here. Okay, and this is a little bit heavier weight yarn, but I still went with a smaller crochet hook. I just like the compact way that it looks, and it looks a lot more delicate than using the large crochet hook. I believe this yarn originally called for a 5.5, and I'm using a 3. So I do like the way it's turning out. I love the closeness of the stitches, and I love the fact that they are uniform and tight. Alrighty, let's just get to some crocheting. Alrighty, so what I'm doing, like I said, are clusters of 3. When I get to the end of the row, I'm doing a chain of 3, and then not doing a single crochet in between. I am just going right into the next opening. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to lower this. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 3, 3, and I just love the way the clusters come together with the smaller crochet hook on the larger yarn. am going to be doing my nails for Halloween, so that video will probably be coming up next. 1, 2, 3. And I do apologize, the AC is on. I hope that's not disturbing anything. I will try to adjust that while I'm editing this video, but we are still in the 3 digits here, so unfortunately turning the AC off is not fair to the other occupants of the house. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I am having so much fun working with the variegated colors. I worked with solids for so long, and when Joann's, Hobby Lobby, and Michael's had their yarn sales going on a few years ago, and yes, this is still the yarn I am working through that I got on clearance before the pandemic even. So needless to say, I stocked up along with all my other friends who I watched on here do their yarn hauls. And if you'd like to see those videos, they're here. I'll probably throw a link at the end of this video so that you can see my yarn hauls if you want to. I have been so good at trying to work through all of the yarn that I bought when they were clearanced out, like I said, before the pandemic, and my shelves are still full. Yes, I went a little overboard, but I must say they are keeping me busy. I showed my works in projects, works in progress, and some of my completed works in progress, or I guess they're no longer in progress since they are completed, but literally some of these things, you learn a stitch, you play with it, you start something, you learn a new stitch, you put the other one aside. My crochet friends and knitting friends will know exactly what I'm talking about, and it can sometimes be quite a while before you pick that project back up and finish it. Okay, we have come to the end, and like I said, what I'm doing there is just 1, 2, 3 single crochets, turn my work around, and just start back into the next row. But as I was saying, the variegated yarns are so much fun to work with. They kind of give you goals. That's part of it, is you sometimes tend to get a little bored with the stitch you're working on, and if you're working in a solid color, of course there's no breaking it up. There's no, it's almost like distance running where you're just like, one more row, one more row. I'll make it to the next street light, then I'll stop. All my runner friends will know what that means too. But you do, you get a little bored with something, so you kind of put it down, you learn something new, and then, like I said, it takes a little while sometimes to get back to that project so that you can get it done and taken care of. But with these variegated yarns, they're just so much fun because you don't ever really get bored because of the color changes. I made a bunch of rodent nest when Australia was having their wildfires. They were in need of bird's nest and rodent's nest because of all the abandoned, or not abandoned, but displaced wildlife babies. And so I had a bunch of variegated yarn that were in natural colors, and I used those to make the bird's nest. Believe it or not, I have so much of the variegated yarn left in different skeins and weights. So I could be busy for a long time. But like this one, we just went from the purples to the blues to the lighter purples, and now we're back into the teal, my favorite color. And like I said, this one I just kind of got to crocheting. This may be a sweater of multi-colors because this is the last I have of this one as well. So I used up a solid purple. I'm using up this skein with the purples in there that match really well. And so I'll see what other solid colors or other variegated colors I have that I can make the fronts and the sleeves on this one with. Just loving the colors in this one. Okay, and 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and here we go back into the teals. It's just so pretty the way they combine these and the way they change out. Like I was saying, the variegateds are so nice because you don't really get bored because of the color changes. And yes, the color changes are on repeat in the skein, but they are color changes nonetheless. And these were crochet hooks I believe I got on either Vipon or Temu. Pretty sure these were Vipon. And the nice thing is I got duplicates of my favorite hooks because I like to leave the hook I'm working with the item I'm working on, so that way when I pick it up, I'm not trying to remember which hook I was using. And I don't do it on purpose, but in this case, and in the sweater that I just showed you that I was working on, the pink one, I have the crochet hooks kind of coordinated with the colors that I'm working with. I'll finish this row and then I will show you the next sweater that I started. Yes, I started a third sweater. That's how you roll. 2, 3. And I know everyone holds their crochet hooks differently. This was just the way that I was taught, and it's the most comfortable for me. I've tried holding it the other way, and I have a hard time snagging the yarn and playing with it. So I have tried the other way just to see if it would work, and this is still the most comfortable way for me. Comment below how old you were and who taught you to knit or crochet. For me, I had one grandmother that crocheted, and I had another grandmother that knitted. So when I was around somewhere between 8 and 10, I had both of them teach me their respective crafts. And so I had my grandmother who crocheted teach me how to crochet, and this was the way she held her crochet hook. And then my maternal grandmother taught me how to knit. Also comment below whether you prefer knitting over crochet or crochet over knitting. I myself just feel like I can get a better build and get something done faster with crochet over knitting, but I do enjoy them both. I am not a mathematical crocheter, so my projects sometimes are not perfect. This one, the math just tended to work out so that I have start and stops on both sides where I can do the 3 chains and they work out perfectly. But that is where we're at on this one here, and I think it's time to start taking it in and up to the neckline on this one. This is the 3rd project that I started with this type of stitching. This one is, again, this was, like I said, on clearance. I believe this was either Hobby Lobby or Joann's. This is what it's supposed to work up color-wise. Again, it's a variegated yarn. This is in the blue multi in the I Love This Yarn Super Soft. Let's see here. Boom, 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 boom. There we go. It is 100% acrylic. It's 4 ounces. And where's my weight on this one? I normally don't look at the weights and the details. I just kind of start something. That's me. Okay. This one originally said to use a 5.5mm crochet hook. I started using the 5.5mm, but like I said, it was just big and bulky. So I went with a 3 on this one. I did step it down. I went with a 5. The 5 still seemed too big and chunky. I went with the 4.5. That still seemed too big and chunky. So then I took it down to the 4, which, believe it or not, I still felt like it was just too big for what I wanted this to look like. So then I went down to the I did not have a 3.5, so I took it down from 4.5 to 3, and I really like the way it's turning out. Again, I just started this. I believe it was a row of 8 double crochets, and then once I got to the width, this is going to be another one where I'm going to be doing the whole sweater and working the whole sweater up, like the pink one that I showed you in the beginning of this film. So but yeah, that's where I'm at with this one here. And once I got to the roundness or width of the sweater that I wanted, I just started taking it in and doing the double crochets. And oh me, oh my, I have seen a couple now where I just put 2 in. So what do we do, ladies, when we find our mistake? This one I could probably leave, but now that I know it's there and these two only have 2 in them, we're going to tear it out. We're going to frog it, as they say. So yes, we are just going to take this back to where I made my mistake. And like I said, I probably could have left it. You may or may not have seen it, but the fact that I know it's there will drive me insane. So we're just gonna take this back. The one thing I love about this yarn is if I do, as you can see, need to pull it back or take it out, it was very, very easy to do. This one, this land counts as 3. So we do have 1, 2, 3 there. This. We're just going to pick it up. And I also see what else I did there. Instead of going within, I went into a loop. Oi, I was half asleep when I started this one, okay? Okay. And I do have 2 more skeins of this. I am pretty sure this is not going to be enough to make a full sweater, so I may have to improvise. I do have more of this yarn downstairs in a little bit different color. It does have the green in it. It's also variegated with green and gray, so I may just have to put those 2 together and see what kind of sweater of many colors I come up with on that one. So let's just go back and fix my mistake. So we've got 1, 2, 3. And again, my crochet hook that I wound up using sort of matches the yarn in the fact that it has the pinks in it. So I'm good with that. Okay, then we are going to skip 1 and go into the next. 1. Oh, bah. That's the only drawback with the tiny hook on this one, is that I may run into that a little bit more. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, there we go. Awesome. Much better. Much better. All right. I'm going to continue on to the end of this one, and then I will bring you back on for the flip. These colors are just so pretty. And again, it's got my greens and teals, blues and purples. Alrighty, and we are approaching the end. and Miss Kitty was feeling all left out, so now she is in here. I apologize if she squawks and makes any noises that disturbs your peace. Beautiful. This worked out. Like I said, I sometimes do not count. I'm not a math crocheter for sure, and sometimes it works and sometimes it does not, that it comes out exactly where it's supposed to. So we have gotten the first row done, and I have to say I am absolutely loving the way the colors are falling on here. This is so pretty. Okay, so then again, 1, 2, 3 for our turnaround loop. Just flip it on over, and we start into the next holes. The reason I love this stitch too is because it's just so easy. There's no counting once you get to going back into the next row. You just know exactly where your hook's gonna go in every opening. The only counting is to make sure you're doing a cluster of 3. 1, 2, 3. Grab next opening. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Does anyone else get satisfaction from that? Yeah, just something so satisfying about working it out perfectly. It just, I don't know. Awesome, everybody. I will just leave you with a little crochet while we fade out here. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please leave your likes, comments, and if you haven't already, please subscribe. This channel has a little of everything. I'm going to be doing a nail video next. I've also got a new contraption that I use on the rugs to kind of help get up the Miss Kitty fur that doesn't come up when I vacuum. I'll be doing that for you as well. This is a bit of crochet with a lot of ASMR, at least a little ASMR, I hope. I like to combine ASMR with everything. We all just need a little relaxation and a little chill, that's all. So I hope you enjoyed this crochet video. It was not me teaching you a stitch, it was just me showing you a couple more projects that I'm working on, and hoping you to relax a little bit with the counting and the visual. Have a fantastic day, evening, whatever it is, wherever you are, and we will see you all in the next video. Take care, everybody.